All right, today we're going to connect some dots that honestly seem completely random. We're talking about a statistical formula, some flying robots, and brand new AI. Sounds like a weird mix, I know, but trust me, there's a really cool pattern hiding in there. So let's just start with the big question, the central mystery of this whole explainer. What could possibly connect a math formula, a bunch of construction drones, the coldest place on Earth, and one of the newest AIs from Google? It sounds like the setup for a really strange joke, right? Well, today we're actually going to solve it. Okay, let's treat this like we're detectives. We're going to go through each of these things one by one, like clues in a case file, and you'll see how a much bigger picture starts to take shape. So, our first clue isn't something you can hold in your hand. It's an abstract tool. It's not made of steel or silicon, but of pure mathematics, and it's designed to help us make sense of really complex, chaotic stuff. This is called the Poisson random variable. Now, I know that name sounds super technical, but don't let it throw you. The core idea is actually pretty elegant. It's basically a way to figure out the odds of something happening a certain number of times within a specific window, whether that's a window of time or a patch of space. So why is this useful? Well, think about trying to predict something like extreme weather. Using this kind of math, analysts can actually model the chances of, say, 3 major hurricanes hitting the coast in one season. It gives us a handle on things that seem totally random. It's our first tool for dealing with complexity. Okay, so we've gone from the world of abstract formulas. Now, our next clue yanks us right into the physical world. This is about going from just predicting a complex world to actually building in it. So check this out. It's a project from researchers at ETH Zurich. What they did was program a whole fleet of quadcopter drones to work together completely on their own to build a rope bridge. We're talking 7.4 meters, or about 23 feet, and they built it out of this stuff called Dyneema. Now here's where it gets really mind-bending. That Dyneema rope the drones were using, it was only 4 millimeters thick, but a single one of those strands can support 1,300 kilograms. That's nearly 3,000 pounds. This let these little, nimble drones build something ridiculously strong. And this quote from New Atlas really nails why this was such a big deal. This wasn't just a toy or a proof of concept. This was a real, functional bridge that a person could walk across. It was a huge moment for autonomous construction. So we've gone from modeling complexity to physically mastering it. You know, that idea of a swarm, a bunch of small things working together to do something big, is so powerful. And it's the perfect bridge, no pun intended, from a physical swarm of drones to, well, a digital one. And here we are at our third and final clue. We've seen an abstract tool for understanding, a physical tool for building, and now we have an intelligent tool, a swarm of AI agents that can actually reason, plan, and create things all on their own. The engine driving this new generation of tools is an AI model like Google's Gemini 3.1 Pro. And it's built for exactly the kinds of problems that are messy, that have multiple steps, and that don't just have one easy answer. And you have to understand, this is a total paradigm shift. You know, the old AI assistants, they just reacted. You'd ask for a piece of code, and they'd spit one out. But in these new agent-first setups, like Google's anti-gravity project, you don't give commands anymore. You delegate the entire job. You're not the micromanager. You're more like the CEO, and you're telling a whole team of agents what needs to get done. So what does that actually mean? What can they do? Well, it means you can tell the AI, hey, build me a live dashboard that tracks the International Space Station, and it just does it. It finds the data stream, figures out how to display it, the whole shebang. Or you can ask it to do something creative, like take the moody Gothic themes of a book like Wuthering Heights and turn that feeling into a website. It's about tackling big, complex problems from beginning to end. Okay, so we've got all our clues laid out on the table. The formula, the drones, the AI agents. It's finally time to put it all together and see what this hidden pattern actually is. So let's go all the way back to that first riddle. A math formula, flying robots, an advanced AI, and a giant frozen desert. What is the one thread that ties all of these things together? And here's the answer. It's that simple. Every single one of them is a tool. They're all from different eras, and they all work in different ways, but they share the exact same goal: to help us understand and master a ridiculously complex world. When you look at it this way, you can see this amazing pattern of progress. First, we learn to model complexity using abstract tools like math. Then we get better and we learn to build within that complexity using physical tools like robots.
And now we're at the next step. We're learning to automate solutions to complex problems using intelligent tools like AI.
So, what about that frozen dessert? Well, think about Antarctica. It's the coldest, the windiest, the driest continent. It is the definition of a complex system. To understand its climate, we have to model it with statistics. To explore its surface, we have to build tough robots that can handle the cold. And to sift through all the data that comes back, we need to automate the analysis with smart AI. It's the perfect real-world example where this entire toolkit, model, build, and automate all has to work together. So this is where we are. We've created tools that can predict the world around us, tools that can physically shape it, and now tools that can actually reason and create inside of it, which leaves us with a pretty incredible question to think about. With all of that power at our fingertips, what impossible problem are we going to solve next?